Hey folks, welcome back to Sunset Falls. It has been a while since we've been on this side of the city. You may remember this was kind of our original starting area. And we are going to be doing a little bit of work on this side today, but mostly within the context of our observatory, because you'll notice that we do not have enough raw materials here, which I'm assuming is because you can't get there, right? So we'd like to fix that today. And there's kind of two different ways I want to approach this. One is by bringing this path back across this mountain ridge, zip, 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 all the way back over here in some way, shape, or form. We need to have a path on this side, right? But I also think we need a way to access this observatory from this side as well. And so I'd like to put in a funicular railroad. I think we've talked about this for a long time, and I'm really excited to finally be doing this. The real question is, can we actually get this to work properly? I have not sandboxed this. We are just going to go for it, and we'll see how this goes. So this is the hilltop station. We may actually have to have a road that comes out here. So let's do that first. And then we'll kind of start messing around with things and see how it works. I don't know if I just put the road right there, if that's going to be close enough. Or, okay, so it does go sideways on the hill. So let me actually put this road the other way around then. So we'll have it maybe come kind of along here. And this will actually work out pretty well, though, because this is roughly where I'm assuming the parking lot will end up being. And we can kind of come across here and then just connect up there. So we'll probably have like a parking lot here. Okay, so let's look at how this station actually works. I think if we just kind of set it right there, kind of start to see, so this is where it would start to be going down right there, right? So we'd actually just want that to be a little bit further on the edge. So you'd actually want to put that more so like right here-ish, right? So that is one option for us right there. Let's look at a few different options as well. We also have, these are through stations, so we don't want to use those. This is a flat station, so if we kind of compare the two here, let's put it on this side of the road. You can kind of see, oh, interesting. This is actually above. Okay, I see. So it'd actually be coming in above versus coming in to the station itself. I don't think we love that option here, because it makes sense to kind of cap it off pretty nicely there. I know we also have a few of the French stations as well. Let me actually just switch over to, oh, fine, it got updated. Awesome. There. This is going to be a little bit easier. So we also have this old Montmartre station. So if I put this kind of like down here, so we can kind of take a look at what this looks like. I don't know why I keep saying the slope is too steep. Oh my gosh, I fixed the slope problem. You can kind of see what this looks like. It's a nice little kind of French cottagey type place, and you can see that it's kind of started the funicular going up. I think the other opportunity too would be this funicular station end, which is kind of a little less specifically French and cool looking, but it does look a little bit more kind of standardized here, and you can see that's where the track starts going up. The other two options are you have the end right or the end left, right? So we can use either of those. You also have this through station here. If you had a midway point, we just don't really have one of those. So it doesn't really make a ton of sense for us. And then you also have these raised ones. I have not had the opportunity to use these yet, but you should be able to kind of see the difference here. Is I think that the tracks are just kind of raised a little bit in there. I did actually just look it up. Let me see if I go back and look it up again. I can tell you what it actually means. Okay, so what it means is basically the through stations allow you to have the rail come into the basement and then go out at a difference of about 6 meters, is my understanding. There's a really good thread on this in the Steam Workshop. If you hop in there, the creator of this entire asset network has a really good thread just kind of explaining how to use these things. I've given it a brief glance, but we may be doing some learning today as we work through this. So I think this station does make the most sense for us. And I actually think the placement is overall pretty good here, all things considered. I may move it over slightly, but we do kind of want it right at the edge there. We may put it kind of right here and maybe even just kind of angle it a little bit there. And then what we can do is bring our road just along just a little bit. Let's grab our road here and kind of just go right. I'm just going to set it down here, and then we can kind of move it just a little bit. There we go. Cool. So now let's actually go over here and then start moving this somewhere. Honestly, we're going to have to line this up anyway, so I'm not super worried about it. We can just kind of have it down here. Like, we're going to use it, right? We'll get there eventually. So the next thing we need to do is actually grab the tracks. So you can see we have the bidirectional tracks, the regular tracks, and then the main track. And I think we want to use the bidirectional in this case because we only need one set, right? So what we're doing here is we're only using one base station, and we're only going one direction. So we don't have to worry about it too much. Let's see if we can get it to snap nicely on the 180. I don't know why it's going to give me a hard time about this. There we go. I don't know. That was odd. So quick note, you can see that's where we're actually forcing it to go down. If we force it to go up, let's check how that would change the landscape there. Now you can see it's just kind of supported there. And then the last option would be the bridge option. You'd see that just does some weird stuff. So we're going to go with this option because it seems to make the most sense to me. Then let's go back down here. And again, we just kind of want to keep going straight. We'll see. Boom. Yeah. So it works very, very well there. So knowing that that's where it's going to end, let's pull this back just a little bit and then move this into place, right? So we're going to go back here, probably right about there, I'm thinking. Does that look, that looks relatively straight there. Let's just adjust it a little bit. Awesome. Okay. So now let's go back one more unit here and then we can pull this through. We want to connect right down there. That does not look like it connected at all. Whoops. Let's see, maybe we can start from this base station and we'll meet in the middle, right? There we go. That looks better. It's still kind of clipping through, but we'll see how it goes. All right. So now let's grab our road here. And I think we'll kind of do exactly what you'd expect here. Let's go straight through there. And then we're actually probably going to want to end up using a 2-lane road here. I think maybe, oh, whoops, that's still, I see, that's still elevated. Let's go back here really quickly and just grade that. This is the same, no worries. But maybe what we'll do here, I'm thinking, is actually kind of just come out this direction, but we'll have some sort of like smaller cul-de-sac or something. So it's, again, kind of going into a parking lot space. So I'm not going to be quite as worried about it. We'll just do, you know, something like this. Nope. All right, that's a little bit too far. Of course, just can't get a clean. There we go. We'll put something in there eventually. We'll just kind of connect that up for the time being. Okay, so we can unpause. Nothing looks like it's absolutely broken, but what we do want to do is actually select the right kind of train, right? So we have this 2 different funicular types. I'm going to put both of them on because I don't really know the difference. So we shall find out. Both of them are getting this Makarsky funicular. So let's give it just a second and see if we can see a train running or if we actually have to schedule a train line. I think we might have to schedule a train line. Boom, there we go. We now have our funicular train line. We're going to call this the observatory line. Boom. And if we select our types, I think we just have these 2 guys. All right, let's give it just a second here. All right. Oh, now they're all upset at me. They don't have water or power. That does feel supremely unfair. I mean, you definitely have power, so you're only complaining about water. I see. Let's bring this water pipeline just over here. Then we'll kind of follow our roads where we can. Loop them back up through here. There we go. You are also upset about power. Also feel like that's a pretty valid concern. Let's kind of have our power lines, or sorry, our water lines rather, go through there. And our power will extend just over here. There we go. Okay. Hopefully you should be a little bit better capacity. There we go. Hey, we got our first little guy going up there. Awesome. So you can see it actually looks like he is going the wrong direction. So I think that's how you can tell the difference between the plus and the minus. So I'm going to actually pull these off because I don't think we want to control. We don't have any intercity lines anyways, right? But what we do want to do is actually go to the line itself. So let's go back up here. Let's go to the trains. And then we go to our observatory line here. First of all, let's change the color because that'll make it a little bit easier to find. But then secondly, really, all right, fine. That's not what I wanted to do. So we use that color. Beautiful. Now, I think, let's figure out which one of these we want to use. I'm going to take this one off and see what happens. Actually, wait, we can just see which one this is. This is the minus. The minus is going the wrong way, so we do want the plus. So let's hop back over here because I think I just removed the plus instead of the minus. No, I do have the plus instead. So let's remove that vehicle and actually add the plus instead and see what this looks like. All right, so the minus is returning to station, and then we'll give the plus a shot. And I think this will be going the right direction. There we go. So now we can see, right? You can kind of tell on the incline, this totally makes sense for how it's situated here. And it's a little bit difficult to see. There we go, right? Awesome, 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 awesome. We have our functional funicular. Let's kind of give it a quick look as it gets all the way up there. It's exciting. We've been waiting a long time for this one, so it's cool to kind of see it finally come into play here. All right, so that is a little problematic. Maybe what we can do here is actually move the station back a little bit. I don't know if that will help here. I'm wondering if it's just kind of where the station connects up here. We could also potentially try a flat station here. Let's see if that looks a little bit better than how we have this set up now. I know it's going to get all annoyed because we're ruining the train line, yada, yada. Pull that back. Sorry, dude. All right, go over here. Let's see. Our base station we don't want. Potentially hilltop. Because I think, nope, that's basically exactly what we had, isn't it? All right, flat and right is what we want. All right, let's give this a shot instead. And I think we may potentially have a little bit more luck with this. So now let's go in, take our main track line, run it right up there. Oh, that is very interesting. And let's try hooking it up, or rather upgrading it just right through there. Okay, so that all looks okay. Let's see how this goes one more time, and then once it works, we'll name it, right? We could also potentially even it out because it looks like it's skewing a little bit sideways from that view. Okay, comes out, works great, love it. This is the tricky part right here once we actually get up the mountain, right? And we may just have to smooth this out a little bit too. That's also another option available to us. I think this will look a little bit cleaner though, going up in there. All right, I can live with that. I can live with it. All right, so let's go in here and just do a little bit of smoothing. Grab our brush size. There we go. I mean, that was a little bit intense. Let's maybe back that up, turn that down, turn that down. There we go. Much better. Okay, cool. So, you know, I don't think that's too bad. The only thing we could do is potentially rotate this station just a little bit if we want to. That'll help it straighten out, at least in my mind. That, there we go. I mean, that looks fine to me. So I'm very okay with that conceptually. Let's just lower this down so it doesn't look like it's like impossible to get in there. And I think move this just a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. Awesome. So we now have the line on the side. And you know what, actually, going back to it, I don't really mind the track being down like that in one specific space. It actually kind of almost makes sense. It's like, oh, for some reason it was steep enough to build there, but not on either of these. Or not steep enough, sorry. The grade was shallow enough, rather, right? That we could build there, but not on the other ones. So we'll kind of see how that goes. We don't have any pasturings coming up here. I'm not shocked by that myself, so I'm not too worried about it. And we do still have not enough raw materials. So let's go fix that problem by getting down to the other side, right? And this may be a little bit more challenging. So if we pull this out, you can kind of see the ridge that we've been following for a little bit. I think we need to kind of get down here and potentially work our way down through here. So what we might try to actually do is start tunneling just a little bit where we need to. I'm going to switch this back to regular and see, can we actually, what happens if we try to cut through here? We're actually just going to cut through the mountain, I see. So let's back up to here. All right, we may have to take care of this off screen. Let me fight with the tunneling mechanic a little bit, and I'll see what I can come up with here. Okay, so this is what I ended up doing. I made a bunch of straight, flat roads, kind of just, every 10 or 15 or so kind of units down the hill. What I then ended up doing was taking each kind of end and taking the end and move it and moving it down so that this end and this end were roughly the same height. This end and this end were the same height. This end and this end were the same height, right? Then what I was able to do was take our new network multi-tool. Actually, that's not true. I used node controller first, and I went through and I sloped all of the nodes that I could. Most of these nodes are actually middle nodes because they're part of bends or turns, but a few of them are not. And so we were able to slope those. And then I took the network multi-tool and I set slope mode, and then I went and sloped all of this through. So now it's roughly about a 10% grade all the way down the hill, but when you look at it, it looks pretty freaking consistent, all things considered. So now I think we can fix most of this by just going through and smoothing some things out with the terrain tool, kind of like this per se, rather than having to go through and kind of build totally separate switchbacks. So that was kind of my strategy to making these switchbacks. I think overall, like it turned out honestly better than I expected it to. So I'm relatively happy with this. And I think ultimately what this will let us do is now kind of go straight through, potentially even tunnel through if we need to. I have not fixed the tunneling situation yet, right? But I think we can kind of cut through here and get over here, and then this side can come back down here. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, folks, so I finally figured it out. This is so frustrating, but it turns out I'm just using the wrong road, right? So if you look at this, check this out. We just have to upgrade this to an actual road that will allow us to do what we're trying to do. So I say that and I hate everything that I just did there. I'm okay with using the this little road, right, for this area. But once we start actually coming down the mountain, we need to use more standard road. And that's what I was realizing, was basically that you just can't really do this the way that I tried to do it. That is problematic. So let's do that, because that's what we want to see here instead. For our switchbacks, boom. That's a little funky looking. I don't know what's going on there. Let me check this out. Oh, that seems problematic. Can we not? Let's try to remove that just a little bit. See if we can fix this up. So we want to go like that. And then, whoa, it's height. All right, let's grab this guy. Maybe down to that height. There we go. This is a little bit weird because there's so many nodes. So let's actually go in to our network controller here and just remove one of them. I think, yeah, that looks just fine to me. And then we'll actually just go in and grab this one. And we kind of ease that up just a little bit there. There we go. And then we might actually want to go through here one more time and just smooth slope this. So all of these guys, slope it up. There we go. See? Easy fix there. Actually, same deal too. Going from here to here to here. Actually, yeah, I think that'll help a little bit here. There we go. Okay, because this still looks a little bit funky. What we can do is maybe grab node controller here, see if one of these. Nope, there we go. Okay, I think that was it. All right, but now that we have our kind of flatter roads here, check this out. Now I'm gonna actually back this up a little bit here and then start curving earlier, because what we can do is switch over here, and this was just me being an idiot. We can now directly tunnel through the mountain, and I mean, that looks awful, right? Obviously. Because what we want to do is actually flatten out all of that. But conceptually, we have fixed the problem that we were encountering, which was that it was not letting us doing any tunneling. So I'm going to go through and connect this up using a regular road and kind of just tunnel straight through here so that we can get over to the other side and actually make this connection. Okay, I think we've got it. We now have our rough mountain pass kind of coming through right along here. Emerges right up here. Actually, let's see if we can still smooth this out just a little bit here. Let's try using our slope controller. There we go. Smooth that out just a bit. Now just pop up right here. Awesome. Okay. So you now officially have a road down here. The last thing to do is just kind of bring this into the city proper here. And I think that will be the easy part of this whole process. Okay, there we go. Nice gentle slope, connects all the way to the rest of the city. And I think if we let things go here, actually one area we might slope just a little bit more. Let's see, we go from here all the way down here. Let's see these grades. Oh yeah, these are a little bit rough here. So let's slope all of this out just down here. Whoa, okay. That is pretty doable though. We'll just go in, smooth it up a little bit. 14 grade is rough, don't get me wrong. But I think we can make this work here. Whoa, not like that. We want smooth. And actually, let's turn this brush size, brush intensity down a little bit, right? There we go. So now we're kind of still acknowledging, right, that this is a very, very steep mountain pass here, but I think this is definitely getting now. Let's smooth it up a little bit on the side. There we go. All right. Do we have an intrepid journeyer? No, we do not. We'll get there. We'll get there. This is, oh, I have a little bit of just a bump here. Let's see if we can slope this out. I think there'll be probably a few of these that we just need to go through and slope a little bit. Actually, looking pretty good here, all things considered. All of these are going to be middle nodes, yeah. Oh, slope that. This one? No, we're good to go there. Awesome. All right, so I think we're doing okay. I don't know why this has... Yeah, we'll have to do check out some of our lane mathematics over here. This is a little bit funky, but now there is a way all the way up to this observatory, and you can take the funicular the other way. We do not have any passengers yet, but that's okay. We're getting there, you know? One thing I do want to make sure that we're not allowing is parking on any of these streets, so we will go back and fix that. But I think we're in a solid place for the second. I think the only other question I have is how does the sloping look over here? So let's go again. We just want to see that's actually... That slope looks just a little bit funky. Let's try to slope those a little bit. Perfect. Actually, I think we could even remove this node right here. It's an extra node. We don't need it. All right. Let's actually go. We have to move it here. Bring that just a little bit because we don't need that. There we go. Cool. This is still very aggressive. I'm wondering, is there anything else we can do here in terms of the sloping? I think going all the way down, this is just going to be really challenging. Yeah, not too much we can do. That might be a flat node. Let's check it out. Yeah. So if we slope that, that definitely helps, I think. You kind of see the slope there, but it's not awful. What we can do, when in doubt, smooth it out. Kind of go along this side. Actually, we can even kind of maybe go over here and bring this ridge up a little bit and then smooth this down. So that kind of gives us something a little bit more to weather in a little bit. So it looks like, again, we kind of like captured more of a natural ridge here than just kind of building something out of nothing, right? So I'm just kind of alternating between these tools to kind of bring some ridges up here, and then we smooth them all down, kind of show, you know, hey, there's land here. This made sense at the time. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So we have our fully connected funicular station. We do have our observatory up here that has road access on some level. These streets, again, as I said before, I'm going to actually go through and make sure that you can't park on any of these streets because it is not what I want here. So I have to apply, oops, just click icons to apply. I'm not sure why this is going to give me a hard time. Oh, so I can't apply parking over there. I see. I got to get in real close. So let's apply no parking to this entire street here. No parking to that entire street here. We don't want any parking on these two streets either. So let's go in and, got to get in real close here. There we go. So no parking on any of those streets either. This guy is making the trek. There we go. All the way from the Kansas City Freight House up to this observatory. I'm not sure why this requires agricultural products. That is a really good question. It's set up as just kind of a generic industrial building. So we'll see. But there you go. This guy has made the trek. I respect that. Speed it up just a little bit. All right. Now, hopefully we have all of our, perfect. We have our goods. One thing we can do here is actually just change the spawn and despawn point. So I think let's move that, whoops, move this back towards the road here. Bring this back a little bit here. And then just kind of, whoops, I don't need to change the height. That's not what we want to do, but rotate this there. So it's kind of tucking it in where this parking spaces are. And then let's follow this guy back down, see how he goes. All right, we'll see you at the bottom. And we made it all the way down. That was a fun trip. It definitely revealed a few of the areas where we can still do a little bit of smoothing, right? A little bit rough on these sides right here. If we turn this way down, go through here and kind of smooth this up just a little bit. Get some of these more aggressive humps and bumps out of the way, but you know what? That's okay. I think we're in a decent spot for today, and we can leave it here. Now see our observatory fully operating at night. Pretty sharp look, even if we get rid of these notification icons. There we go. That is our city. All right, well, thank you for joining me in Sunset Falls today, everyone. and I will catch you next time.